The reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness LLC. We're back. All right, folks, welcome back to the Borderlands Sports Report, the weekly wrap-up show. We are joined here by Coach Rubin Torres from Franklin High School. Coach, thanks for coming back on and joining us.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. You guys coming off of a tough loss this week, 40-30 to Del Valle. What were some of the takeaways, I guess, from that game for you guys that kind of led to that happening?
Well, first of all, I was very proud. One of the things I think coming in as a new head coach and a new staff and I going through spring ball with these guys, it kind of takes some of these big games, these physical games for you to really find out, some of the makeup of your team. And so I was really pretty pleased with our physical effort and kind of answering the bell in a very physical game. That was something I was looking for. I felt like, we did have some breakdowns at times, especially in the back end in our coverage. Some of our sloppiness and tackling showed up, especially on third down for us defensively. Offensively, I felt like, our efficiency in our passing game, whether it was a drop ball or maybe a high throw, really kept us from being balanced and keeping their defense, a little more honest. But I felt like, the game lived up to the hype for sure. And for us as coaches and for our players, really kind of gave us a recipe and a map of what we need to get better on moving forward as we continue to refine our systems and our team under the new coaches staff and the new direction we're heading.
And you guys went into that fourth quarter winning, right? You guys were ahead going into the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And then they kind of erupted, I guess you could say. They had 21 points in the fourth quarter to kind of seal that game. But I want to focus on one thing. So last week when we talked, one of the things you had talked about was establishing a running game. And I think you guys did that pretty much with I think Ernie had 40 carries, 324 yards, 4 touchdowns. Another big day for him. Going into that game and seeing how that running game really allowed y'all to control the momentum going into that fourth quarter, is that something that you guys can take away and build on for the next game?
Yeah, without question. I think he finished the game with 38 carries, 342 yards rushing. We had a big one called back that he broke for a touchdown there, and that kind of took some sails out of our wings, and we've got to do a better job of, refocusing and regrouping when those things happen. And then to your point, one of the things is they answered one of our big scores with a kickoff return for a touchdown that kind of swung the momentum back their way. But I was really proud of us being able to establish the run. There was a series where they pinned us deep back on our own 1 yard line, and we were able to come out and get out of that hole and convert a couple fourth downs on that drive with our run game. But, in order for us to achieve the things we want to, we've got to become more balanced and improve in our passing game. And so as happy as I was with us establishing the run, and we had to do some things different with the multiple fronts and blitzes that they were showing us and pressures, I was really proud of our kids and our coaching staff for the way they adjusted throughout the game, throughout the quarter, and even at times during the series. I can't say enough about Coach Butler and the Tobias staff and Coach Contreras as the head coach, what they do and the problems they pose and how hard their kids play. But as good as our running game was, and physical as we were up front, we do got to become more balanced to be more efficient.
Got you. Got you. So let's flip the page here. You guys have Lubbock Monterey this coming week. Um, what are some of the things that you guys are going to look to improve on going into that game to put you guys in position to win that one?
I think our big three things this week, if I look at the offensive side of the ball, is we've got to do a much better job at throwing on first down and attacking space. We should get two receivers back this week that haven't played this year that should help us with explosives. So number one is we've got to put the ball in the air a little bit more to lighten up that box. The second thing is, defensively, just really trusting and communicating, I think is a big one for us on defense, especially in our back end with our secondary and our safeties. I thought our kids played hard. We just had some communication breakdowns and some technique things when it came to tackling. So we got to be a better tackling team. And then the third thing overall is, really just, making sure that our special teams continue to get cleaner. I felt like at times in that game, we blocked a field goal or an extra point. That was big for us. We were able to kick a field goal early in the game, which was big, but giving up a big kickoff return for a touchdown is unacceptable. So we still got some work to do there, and there'll probably be some personnel changes there. I think guys have had plenty of opportunities to earn their time on the field, and so my job as the head coach and us as the staff is, to put the right players out there on the field that are going to do their job. And I don't know if Monday morning there's going to be some hurt feelings, but it is what it is. I mean, we're in the business of winning, and so we've got to make some of those decisions to put our team in the best position to win and be successful in all three phases.
Definitely, definitely. What are some of the things that you guys are going to try to look to take away from Lubbock, if you can talk on it? If I don't want you to give away
Yeah.
no trade secrets.
No, well, they got film, so I think the days of secrets are kind of out the
Exactly,
door.
exactly.
Um, and I think number one, the thing that stands out to me about their defense is their defensive line. We got their scrimmage film in their week one against the Oklahoma Choctaw team that was very good and explosive, and they were in an odd front predominantly. And then this past week, they went to a four-man front, and that looks to be kind of what works best for them. They got four defensive linemen who are extremely impressive, big physical kids who are athletic, play really well with their hands. So I feel like their best unit on defense is going up against our best unit in our offensive line. And so that's why we're going to have to be able to play out on the perimeter a little bit and loosen up that box and get those D linemen running around. And offensively, their quarterback, does a good job with the play action game, but they got two really good backs that are different. They have a really good wide receiver out there. And then what you'll see is their offensive line is extremely massive. And if they get their hands on you, it's going to be a long, long, long night for us up front in the box. So we're going to have to attack them with some different looks, get guys moving around. I do feel like that their offensive line is big and as physical as they are. They may not play in space as much or with guys moving. So we're going to have to open up our toolbox a little bit on defense to attack them in their run game. Try to corral that running back and not let him get out on the perimeter and kind of box them in is our game plan there. But, I'm a firm believer in, at the end of the day, the team that runs the ball and stops the run. And, if we can eliminate turnovers, and create some turnovers and just do a better job tackling. And I think tackling is real similar to playing defense in basketball. It's an effort thing and a want to. And
Yeah.
so I want to go up there and tackle, not necessarily make a big hit or a big splash, but just make a textbook tackle is going to be very important for us.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, I know you got a busy Sunday, so I don't want to keep you too long. Um, as we wrap up this previous week, are there any players that stood out that you want to highlight before we close out the show?
Yeah, I mean, I really felt like our wide receiver number 9, Santi, had an outstanding game. And all our receivers in terms of blocking, Staples, Josh, Diego, Santi, just their effort out there in blocking for Ernie was extremely impressive to me. And that's something that, just like tackling on defense, I think it's a 1-2 thing. So the receiving group across the board, I thought did a great job with their effort in blocking, very selfless of them, and really taking pride in what they were doing. Defensively, I thought our defensive end, Dante and Adonis, played extremely well with their pass rush and doing their best to keep Jake Fetty contained. And of course, with JB and Stone Jessup and Daniel at the linebacker positions, they played lights out as well. And so, I think, that there's a lot of positives out of this game, out of this past week, from this loss that we could take. And if we choose as a team to learn and grow from them, it's going to make us better down the road. But we don't have a whole lot of time to lick our wounds and feel sorry for ourselves. I didn't really give them a 24-hour rule. I gave them a bus ride home rule. And, once we get back into that locker room after that game, it's over with. We got to move on to the next one. And so us as coaches, spend a lot of time looking at the film. We'll make some adjustments in our practices and with personnel, and we'll get back to it tomorrow morning.
Nice. Well, Coach, I thank you for taking the time, jumping on with us real quick to wrap up this past week from you guys. Good luck as you guys. Is that a home game or you guys going to Lubbock?
Yeah, it'll be our home opener. So our first 2 games have been on the road, so we're excited about opening up for week 3 here at home, and get back on the winning track.
Definitely. Now, do you guys stream those games out?
That's a great question. We do stream them, through the Huddle Focus cameras. I
Okay.
don't have the link right now, but I could get that information to you, and I know our booster club and district will get that information out as soon as they have it.
Okay, no problem. I just want to make sure so if people want to catch the game and can't make it down to Cougar Stadium, they can watch. But thank you, Coach, for joining us this Sunday, wrapping up week 2. Folks, this has been another episode of Borderlands Sports Report. Be blessed. Have a good Sunday.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Likewise.
Appreciate you, Coach.
You got it, man.